What is going on, everybody? Now, today's video is probably going to be one of the hardest videos I've ever made. And I already know that this is probably not what you want to hear right now, but it might be what you need to hear. Because in this video, I want to talk about something that a lot of us go through, and that is letting somebody go. How to stop holding on even when you don't want to, even when it hurts, even when part of you is still hanging on. Letting go of someone you care about, someone you still think about, someone you didn't want to lose. And I know it sucks. Trust me, I know. And I know this video isn't the video that you probably wanted to click on, but if you're here, chances are you already know the answer and you already know what you have to do. You know deep down what the truth is, and that's the worst part, because accepting it is so hard. So if you're watching this right now, just take a deep breath, and this video is probably just what you needed to see. Now, the truth is, when you're questioning whether or not you need to let them go, you usually already know. You don't question something that feels secure. You don't lie awake at night thinking to yourself, do they care? If it's obvious that they do. You don't spend hours trying to decode messages or trying to convince yourself that something is still there, if it's really there. And I know that's not what you wanted to hear. I know you want somebody to tell you, just hold on a little longer, just wait, maybe it'll work out, but deep down, you know. And accepting the truth hurts, because your heart is still fighting it. Your heart is still saying, maybe they'll come back, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe I just need to try harder. And that's what makes letting go so painful. Now, letting go isn't hard because you don't want peace. Letting go is hard because holding on feels like you're in control. Holding on feels like, if I can keep thinking about it, if I keep hoping, if I keep checking, then maybe I won't fully lose it. But the truth is, holding on doesn't stop that pain. Holding on is the pain, because you're not holding on to something that's real anymore. You're holding on to potential. You're holding on to memories. You're holding on to what you wish it was. And I know that's hard to accept, because it feels like letting go means it's over, and that sucks. But holding on doesn't bring it back. It just keeps you stuck. And this is something I really want you to understand. Letting them go does not mean that they weren't important. Letting them go does not mean you didn't care. It doesn't mean it didn't matter. You can still miss somebody deeply and still accept that they were just not meant to stay. Some people are just chapters. And I know that hurts, and I know it feels unfair, but sometimes the most mature form of love is letting go. Not because you stopped caring, but because you respect yourself enough to stop holding on to something that isn't holding on to you. And honestly, I think a lot of us don't talk about this enough, and that is that attachment is addictive. Your brain gets used to them, their presence, their attention, their voice, even the uncertainty, even the anxiety. And when they leave, it feels like withdrawal. That's why it feels impossible. That's why you keep going back mentally, because a part of you isn't just missing them. Part of you is missing feeling connected to someone. Even if it wasn't healthy, even if it wasn't consistent, even if it wasn't enough. And I know that's painful. I know it feels like you're losing something that you can't replace, but you can, and you will. One of the biggest reasons we can't let go is that we romanticize. We remember the good parts, we replay the highlights, we convince ourselves that this was special, this was rare, this was everything. But you have to be honest with yourself. If it was truly right, you wouldn't be in this much confusion. Peace does not feel like anxiety. Real love does not feel like guessing. And the right person does not make you feel disposable. And I know it's hard to hear that because you want it to be different. But stop romanticizing something that left you feeling so unsure. Stop calling it love if it cost you your self-respect. A lot of people, they wait for closure, one more explanation, one more apology, one more sign. But closure is not something someone gives you. Closure is something that you have to choose. Closure is waking up one day and saying to yourself, I can't keep doing this. I deserve someone who stays. I deserve clarity. I deserve peace. And that decision is the beginning of letting go. And yeah, it sucks, but it's necessary. So if you're listening to this and thinking, why can't I just move on? I promise you, you're not weak, you're just human. And it's totally normal to grieve. It's normal to miss them. It's normal to feel like you lost something because you did. But you're not behind and you're not broken. You're just healing. And healing can take time. And healing is definitely not linear. Some days you'll feel okay, and then the next day you'll feel like you're back at the start again. But that's normal, and that's just all part of it. And letting go isn't just about erasing them. It's about returning to yourself. It's about reclaiming your energy, your mind, your life, gaining control over all of that again. Because right now, you're giving so much space in your head to someone who isn't living there anymore. And you deserve better than that. You deserve to feel whole again. You deserve to wake up and not feel heavy. You deserve to move forward, even if it hurts at first. And I want you to imagine a version of yourself 6 months from now, a year from now, healed, smiling again, breathing again, free again. That version of you is begging you right now to just stop holding on to what is hurting you. Because what's meant for you will not require you to abandon yourself. So if you're watching this and you're struggling and you don't want to let go, I understand. I really do. Trust me. But sometimes the hardest thing is also the healthiest thing. Sometimes you don't let go because you stopped loving them. You let go because you started loving yourself. And I know that's not what you want to hear. I know it sucks, but it's what you need to hear. Stop holding on to what isn't holding on to you. Stop fighting what you already know deep down. Accept what is and let yourself move forward. And I promise you, better days are coming. One day, this won't feel like the end of the world, and it will feel like the beginning of the rest of your life, the beginning of your return. So take a breath and just let go.